most kezdjük? Jó. So today's class will be the daytime makeup look, and of course we will talk about like how to prepare it, how to apply it, and what brushes, what products we're using. And after this we will transform it to the evening. Okay, so what is really important that my model's face is clean now, and of course whenever you do makeup, the best thing is to apply it on the clean skin. So most of the ladies, of course, they will come to you and then they will tell you like, okay, just put something on, I have already makeup, but it's not the best thing to do. So of course you want to make sure that the skin is really clean, it's cleaned up, so there is no makeup left from the day before or something like this. So now the skin is clean, but for any case, of course, we will just we will use something to clean it up even more. What I'm using is, so we can use wet wipe or we can use some cleansing milk. So basically, I'm always saying that it's up to the person actually, and but when it comes to how to make it really quick and how to do it like really effortless, then we're using some wet wipes. And we will just clean up the skin, because of course the makeup looks very nice and fresh when we are applying it on the clean skin, moisturized even before. And of course you need to make sure that the neck is also cleaned up and moisturized, because it's a very, very sensitive part of the body, and then of course the lines, they will be visible really quickly if you're not moisturizing it. Okay, so now we have the clean skin and we will just put the toner on. And why we're using toner and how it looks, yeah, it looks like this actually. And I will just take some cotton. So why we are using the toner? We're using the toner because we want to make sure that the skin is completely cleaned up, it's refreshing the face and the skin, and it's closing up the pores, and basically it's preparing the skin for the moisturizing, for the moisturizer, sorry, or moisturizing cream. And then we will just go through the face. Of course, you need to make sure that your touch is very gentle and very, very soft on the skin, because you really, really need to make sure that every single time you're applying makeup on your client or model, it's something what you can really enjoy, her and you also. Also the lids. Okay, so it's there. And then the next step is to apply the moisturizing cream. Before the foundation and before the makeup, we're applying something like a very soft and light cream, so like maybe water-based, because you don't want to get that oily effect on the face. I'm using my mixing plate, so the mixing plate is basically helping you, or you can use your hands, depends what is better for you and what you prefer. And then we will just apply it again gently on the skin, all over, preparing the skin for the base or foundation. Of course, it depends again. I'm using my foundation brush for this, but basically we can use our fingers for this. It's again up to you if you like to touch the face, or if your client is okay to touch the face with the fingers, then you can of course use your fingers much more. But sometimes you will find definitely clients, they really don't want you to touch the face with your fingers, because we have a lot, something like that. Then of course you have to take your foundation brush, what is like a flat, big brush, very soft. Actually it's synthetic, but it works very well. And now we will just wait like a few minutes for the cream to absorb in the skin, and then we will start the foundation. When it comes to the foundation and when it comes to the primer or base, it all depends what is the type of foundation what you are using. Because we will do a daytime look. Basically, the foundation has to be something where it's really transparent, and we have to show the skin, of course. And we want to make sure that the foundation is not visible, because, of course, it's natural lines. So when our client will go out and she can see herself in the mirror, of course, everything is visible. That means that whatever you put on the face, it should be perfectly blended, because otherwise you can see the foundation, you can see the eyeshadows, of course, what is like in the case. If it's not blended, then of course it's a problem. So you don't want to have all these problems. So you need to make sure that first of all the foundation is blended. Depending on what is the type of foundation, or what is the texture of the foundation what we are using, we will apply base or not. Sorry. So if we are using a liquid foundation, then of course you will apply a base. Base is a primer, and then of course the question is like, what is a primer? Primer is basically, it can be in a cream form, in a gel form, or in a spray form, what we apply before the foundation. And then why we are applying it? Because we want to make sure that the foundation will last longer. Basically the primer is preparing the whole skin for the foundation. Sometimes it's closing the pores, sometimes it's kind of covering the pores. So it will basically help you to have a better application from the foundation, and it will be like a better coverage, it will be much longer staying. But sometimes you have primers, they have colors. Well, I'm not using those primers basically because I'm using cream foundation, so I will talk about the cream foundations a bit more. The cream foundations, and I'm using it from Kryolan, are like this. And basically, if we would say why we're using the cream foundations, because you have a perfect coverage, you can really work on every single skin type, because it's Kryolan Derma, of course. And in my opinion, this is one of the best foundations. So it's easy to apply, it's quick, it's covering, it will last for, I don't know, maybe 15 plus hours. So basically it helps you to reduce the time, reduce your course, and really a lot of different things, what helps you to have a better makeup application. Okay, so we applied the cream now, and then we need to test the colors of the foundation. And of course here we have so many different maybe mistakes or misunderstandings like how to choose the right color of the foundation. So basically you're not choosing from the hand. So I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that most of the people they are making, especially the ladies. They will go to the store and then they will just try it on the hands, or maybe from the inner side. So no, that's absolutely no. We are not choosing it like this. So I have my palette here, and then okay, I think that this color will be fine. No, so you always have to try it on the skin, on the face, where like near to the jawline or on the forehead. It's basically up to you what is better for you, but you need to test the colors, because the color what is really blending in the skin color, that's the color what you're using on the model or the client. If the color is lighter or darker, that's of course it's not your color. So this is how we will choose the colors. So the easiest way is that you can just look at the colors, and then you will choose maybe 3 different colors, what we can say that it's like closer to my model skin color. And then of course you're never going straight in the product, so you will just go and put a line on and blend it a bit, so you can see exactly how it looks on the skin. Okay, this is lighter, so obviously this is not her color. And then we have another one. As we can see, this is really yellowish, and it's much more darker than her skin color, so this is even not the right one. And then you have the third one. what can look really okay, and we will use this color. This is DFD from Creola and Derma. And then this will be our foundation colors. So now I will just take another wet wipe, our best friends of course, and then we will just take off this and clean it up. And now we can start with the application. Again, you can use your hands, you can use your mixing plate, so basically it's really up to you. I would suggest you to use the mixing plate. It's more hygienic, it looks more professional of course. And then of course now you will definitely ask like why we're using cream foundation and this is like a daytime look. And what is the difference between the daytime and the evening look? It's actually a lot. So for the daytime look you're using most of the time matte colors. You want to basically refresh the face, so that's why you're using makeup in the morning or like for the daytime. It's really good for some business meetings, for the work. It won't be dramatic, so we are not using some really dark colors. Black is, I would say, no for the daytime. And then of course we can use some maybe like a darker brown just to give like a bit of definition on the eyes, but we will talk about this like later of course when we will do. And now we are applying the foundation with the very small and soft touches on the face with a flat brush. And of course all the time I can check it from the mirror, so it's really important when you do makeup. And if you're right-handed, of course you will stand from this side. Why? Because you can just reach the whole face, and it's really important not to run around the client because it looks really funny. So, and you don't want to look funny in front of your client. So we are doing some very like small and gentle movements. And of course you want to blend in the foundation to the skin, so, and you don't want to cover everything. So with the daytime look, it's a very light foundation on the face, and even with the cream foundation you can do it very light and soft. It doesn't mean that you will have like a very heavy foundation. It can be still dewy. And of course we're applying it all over the face, that's really important. So the hairline, under the eyes, the eyelids, even on the lips, because you want to fix it. So you want to fix the lipstick after, and you want to have some base on the lips, so it's really important to apply a bit of foundation even there. And when it comes to Derma, it's really important to know that as a foundation type, what you can use for every single skin type, it's waterproof. It can cover even the tattoos. They made it exactly for that, so the coverage is wonderful. You can blend it really nicely in the skin, so you don't have to think that, oh my god, I will make a mask effect on my face, because no. You can apply it with a sponge, with a wet sponge, or with a brush, with a foundation brush. And as you can see, I'm applying it with some kind of tapping movements, because I really want to work in the foundation, so that's kind of important. So not dragging all over the face and not taking all the foundation, but more like working in the skin to have a texture there. What we need to know about these foundations, that you need like 30-40 minutes to absorb in the skin. And the amount what I'm applying is just a bit. So it's a very light layer. It's not even a layer, it's just really working the skin. And of course, you have to take care of the neck, because definitely it's always a different color. Always. So we need to make sure that these areas are like covered properly and they are the same color. In those places where you have some small pimples, what you want to cover, again, you are working it in the skin, so you are dabbing it. There's always a question like where to start the foundation, and is it good if we start it from the forehead or like the middle part of the face? So the answer is that you can start it basically from wherever. The main thing is to cover everything. That's really important. Sorry. Most of the time I'm always asking the model or the client, is she okay, or if she needs something, or if she needs water. Water is really good to drink when you do makeup on your client, because you need to moisturize the whole body and to have some liquid in, so it's really important even for the skin. So again, and still it's like a dabbing movement, gentle, in this area where is the eye, not to poke in the, the eyes. Yeah, sometimes it sounds really funny, but most of the time when you're working with people, or when you do your own makeup, and then you really get used to running, and then you're always in a hurry. Of course you will not take care of like the touch on the face, but when you do the makeup for someone else, of course you really need to make sure that it's a nice feeling. And I really can't understand these people, they like just really like boxing the face sometimes, or like, I don't know, poking the eyes, or even the whole face. We had those cases, of course, and those situations so many times, and that's something what we really need to avoid. So as you can see, the foundation color is a bit like, maybe like a shade more yellowish and a bit deeper, but of course it's not a mistake, it's on a purpose, because I like to make the skin a bit more alive. And then, especially if it's for daytime, and of course the difference is not huge, you can't make it that much. I don't like the foundation when it's lighter, because everything what is lighter and is whiter than your face, it will make you look tired. But when you give a bit of color to the face, then it looks more healthy. And basically when we do the daytime look, it's really important to make ourselves look much more healthy and fresh, because otherwise there's no point to do any kind of a makeup. So we will just drag it to the neck. Even sometimes when you have clients or people using makeup, and the ears, they have a different color, then we can apply a very tiny amount on the ears, just to make sure that everything is in the same color. And of course, you as a makeup artist, you always have to check the face from the mirror. Like you can stand in front of the model and you will check it from there, and even you can go a bit like further just to see like how it looks. I will go with a bit more coverage under the eyes, because I can still see that there is darkness. And then that's it. Okay, so the next step now, so basically we have the foundation on, and then of course we have to correct the under eye area, and then of course there's a question like sometimes you have some makeup artists and some tutorials where you can see that the makeup artist or the person who is applying makeup, they're applying the corrector first and after the foundation and all these different things. So I would not do that kind of a technique and not that way, because I like to see first of all like how the skin looks when it's all covered, and then of course I can still see that there is something what we need to cover. And if you just tilt your head a bit more, yeah, you can here see the half moon area, and it's a bit darker, so of course then you will see where you need to cover more. And of course, let's see, we will just apply a bit of orangey color there. Why orange and why is the correcting color? So the under eye area is a bit, let's see, it's like a bluish, it's like a bluish reddish color and with some brown mixture. So of course you wanna correct this part. So that's why we are using the complementary colors, and that's why you really need to know the color theory, because in this case you can correct these colorations with the complementary colors. So as we know that the blue and the orange, the corrector, they are complementary colors, so that's why we will just block it out. So basically this is how we use the complementary colors, and then you have the purple and the yellow, of course, they're complementary colors, and then you have the green and the red. So whatever redness you have on the face, you will correct it with the green color, and if you have anything like purplish, then of course you will just correct it with the yellow. Okay, so now I'm using like a blending brush. I like to use this brush because it really blends in the skin. So, and I can have like a perfect blending here, so I don't have to think about like, okay, it's not blended enough. You can do it with your fingers again, like we are working with these two fingers, so even that technique can work very well. Look up please. And then like gently you will just dab it in. And you will just drag it down as a triangle, so you're never like putting it exactly in the circle. So basically you always have to blend it towards downstairs and down, and blend it very, very gently. Of course, this is the eye area. The skin is very, very thin and it's very sensitive. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing and you have the very nice touch. Look up, please. Especially are focusing on this area where you can see the half moon. And of course, why it's good to apply the corrector with fingers? Because of the heat of your body. So it will be just like melting all the time, and then you can just really, really nicely work it in the skin. Like with the tapping, dabbing movements. Close your eyes, please. Even you can apply a bit on the eyelid, just to make sure that you have like a very nice coverage here. And then of course you will just blend it in very gently, so you will just lift it a bit, like the whole eyelid. You want to make sure that all the time you're keeping this dewy skin, so because it's daytime look, so you don't want to have all like caked up and so much foundation on. Open your eyes, please. Yeah. Okay. And now when we have this like corrected, then we will just go with a bit of concealer, what will be like a bit lighter color. Why? Just to lighten up the under eye area. Because we want to give her like a fresh look. We don't want her to look tired. That's really important, and that's one of the most important reasons why they're applying makeup in the morning. I will just clean this up. Yeah, this is a brush cleaner, of course, and I want to make sure that I don't have any orange colors here, so it's not bothering me here. And I'm still using my blending brush. And then you will just gently go in and cover this, actually conceal the whole corrector side and parts here. I'm keeping the very light coverage, so I don't want to have too much product. I don't want to make it really thick here. Even we will go in to the inner corner. All with the dabbing movements. Open your eyes, please. Again, you really need to make sure that your client, she feels very comfortable with you. So in the case that she is not happy with you touching her face with your fingers, then you really just have to avoid this. But anytime when you're working with cream products, then you can really just use your fingers and dab it in the skin. Close your eyes, please. And we will just apply a bit here. When you're holding a brush, you're holding it from the end, because it's giving you like a very soft and feathery touch. It's really important. Okay. I will just go a bit here up. I'm not contouring and highlighting the face for the daytime. So we will apply a nice blusher, what will give like a nice fresh look, but no contours and highlights here. Because this is a daytime look. For the evening, of course, we can add more contours, we can add a bit more highlighter under the eye area. But that will be for the evening look. For now, we are focusing to make her skin really like dewy, and to give a bit more coverage here, but still transparent, of course. We don't want to cover it completely. Okay, the next step is to set this, of course, and I'm using Ben Nye banana powder. Why I'm using this powder? Because it's yellowish, of course, and again, when you set the whole face with this, and it's giving you like a very nice fresh color, and of course it's giving like a matte finishing. Now I like to leave the skin a bit kind of empty and open, so like open from this part here. So I will just set the parts where I will work with some more products. So like this will be the cheekbones and the eyelids for now, and then after, when I finish the whole makeup look, then I will just go over. Close your eyes, please. And of course, before you're setting the lids, you need to make sure that it's blended, because you applied some textures on it, and how she's opening her eyes and how she's blinking. Of course, it's all going to the creases, so it's actually normal. There's nothing crazy about it. It's not that we are using the wrong products or that we are using a bad foundation. Close your eyes, please. So we will just gently set this around the eye area. Actually, the eye area, under the eyes and on the lids. Again, with some kind of dabbing moves. And this part here, the rest, we will just keep it open and keep it like dewy. Okay, so now our base is done, and we can start with the... So this is the base, basically. Before you starting the foundation, of course, you will clean up the skin, you will moisturize it, and after this you will choose the right color of the foundation. You will apply the foundation on the whole face, cover everything up, and then you will go with some corrector under the eyes and on any kind of places where you can see that there is something what needs to be corrected. And then of course you will apply the concealer and the powder. This is the base. And now we can base foundation. We can go with the eyebrows. Why? Like, it's really easy to memorize. So actually, you apply the whole base, and then you will start from the top of the face. So eyebrows, eyes, mascara, blusher, and lips. And this is something what you can really memorize in a very, very easy way. These are actually the regular steps what you will do all the time. So you need to make sure that you just keep your brain open and you can just soak in the information. Okay, so I will just brush the eyebrows upwards, and I will just fill it in. So for the daytime, of course, we are not going with any kind of a crazy overdrawn eyebrows, nothing super dramatic, just a very simple and very light touch. And I'm using like 3-4 shades lighter because I just want to create like a shadow between the hair, and I just want to fill up the eyebrows. So if I would use the same color, I will get some really, really dramatic eyebrows, and that's what we don't want to do for the daytime. We are just keeping it very simple. So basically we are filling up the eyebrows for the beginning, because of course you're now starting to do makeup, so you can just give like some support for your hands. Of course you can even use the powder puff. And after this, when you're really like experienced, and of course you're working from the air, so you're not putting your hand on the face, because it's still like a new and the layer on the skin, you can just take off the foundation really easily, and then of course your fingerprints will be all over the face. So for the beginning you can just go and then use like a powder puff, and then use that to fix your hands. But of course after this, when you will be like a really experienced makeup artist, then you can just go and not support your hands, just working from the air. At the same time I'm brushing it. If you feel that you made the eyebrows like too strong for the daytime, like you can always brush it off. Of course this is like a two-sided eyebrow brush, like an angle from this side, and then this is the brush side. It's very practical. You need only this, and then your eyebrows are done. So we'll keep it very, very simple and very soft. And then we will start the eyes. So first of all, I will have like a flat brush, and I will just apply like a base color. It's a skin color actually. What won't be visible that much. And I'm still blending this here because it's really important to not have the lines here, otherwise my eye makeup will be like full of lines and creases and it will look very bad. So we need to make sure that there are no lines. And then we are starting the base color, and basically you are doing like a tapping and dabbing movements to the crease line. Okay. Like slightly you can just lift your, you can just lift the eyelid up just to have more space here, and you can really, really nicely work it on the skin. So basically, as we can see that the color is not visible that much, but the main point of this color is to hold your base and to hold your eye makeup.